I think watercolor paper is the most versatile art paper because it can accept the widest range of materials without bleeding through. But alcohol markers and alcohol inks are a whole different game. And I actually haven't tested this before. So these are alcohol markers. And just to show you quickly, in this book, I've painted watercolor in these, and I also used some watercolor crayons. And you can see that on this side of this page, I've actually painted this on the other side, and you can't see the other one on either side. It's also the same thing with this, which was a combination of watercolor and watercolor crayon. See, we don't see the other side on this, and we don't see the rocks on this side. But nearly everything I've tested alcohol ink on, it bleeds through to the other side, other than things that are non-porous. So let's see if this will bleed through to the other side of this page. I'm only willing to sacrifice the one page, so I am gonna put an additional barrier in there. Take a nice bright color. We'll do one stroke. Let's see if it bled through. I might be able to see a little bit of it, but it didn't bleed through a ton. So we're gonna do this again, but we're going to treat this more like how you'd actually use an alcohol marker. For example, you'd probably put a couple coats on there. Yes, I'm starting to see a little bit of bleed through here. Let's try with a different color just to see what's gonna happen. Let's try it with a lighter but brighter color. We'll do a couple strokes. I can see it. The alcohol markers did defeat the bleed through of the watercolor paper. However, things that I have used on watercolor paper that didn't bleed through include watercolor, watercolor crayons, watercolor markers, gouache, pens, non-alcohol markers, pastels, acrylics, and what else is there? Colored pencils. So I can pretty confidently recommend watercolor paper for most mediums, aside from anything that uses alcohol to actually transport the ink, things like alcohol inks or alcohol markers.